Let's move on to South Africa, where the country's main port operator, Transnet, is seeking international assistance in its efforts to turn around the operational issues at the country's terminals. The government-owned logistics company last December reported 1.6 billion rand, or that's roughly $87 million in loss in 6 months for the period ended September, on the back of declining rail, port, and pipeline volumes amid higher costs. Let's bring in Holeni, the Group Chief Advisor at Ntiyiso Consulting Group in South Africa, to chat to me on this. Good evening. Hey, thanks for connecting into our Rice Exchange tonight.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you for having me tonight.
Hey, brother, it's good to have you. How much impact? We've reading about Transnet problems. Sometimes we got news that whether the government is providing billions of rand to bail out Transnet. How much impact is Transnet problems having on logistics trade in South Africa? Give me that in a minute.
Well, in terms of Transnet is a very important player within the South African market because they control all the harbors, the ports, as well as most of the vessels that are coming in have to be serviced by Transnet. Most of the goods that go out of South Africa go out through the port of Durban. There are other ports that are starting to come up as well. However, there's congestion in these ports, which is causing a lot of discomfort for business. It's causing loss. It's causing goods to arrive late. So the turnaround time is declined quite significantly. And that has a huge impact because the port of Durban is the busiest one. There are other ports which are starting to gear up, such as the port of Tuka and the port of Richards Bay, but they are not nearly at the level that they should be operating. So there's inefficiencies in the system, and that is constraining the economy of South Africa quite significantly, with all the trucks that have to go and converge into all of the different areas, coupled with the fact that the rail network is suffering a lot of cable theft, where the lines are down most of the time and the train are not able to move as they should move.
Interesting. I was about to ask you, this was once a very efficient infrastructure logistics company for South Africa, handling some of the continent's largest sea trade, as it were. So how did Transnet get to this morass of a problem that mining companies couldn't get those platinum, gold, whatever it is, to the ports, as it were? There were delays, there was so much logistics at the seaports as we have it.
So the Transnet has over the years suffered a loss of critical skills, which I can attribute to the fact that those skills were highly experienced in logistics. They also have not been investing in rolling stock as they should have been, such that they would have new locomotives that would be able to move various goods. Thirdly, they also have not been investing in new rail that would move from different locations to the point where it can get to the various ports. And fourth, in terms of the investment with regards to the clearing of all the containers, the movement of goods, whether it's import or as well as exports, that congestion is one that logistically has not been planned for and has not been accounted for with regards to having a system that moves it much quicker. There have been investments that have gone into Transnet over the past 10 years. However, loss of, I think, the logistical skills as well as the leadership. So there's a capability issue that we are seeing with Transnet, where they are not able to execute based on the leadership, the strategy, as well as the service delivery to their customers. So over the years, Transnet has lost the capability and the competitive edge that it used to have to be able to transport the goods. And over and above that, they have not planned for the growth in the economy as well as moving goods, from other areas that would go through the port. So it's a combination of issues that would need to be resolved, simultaneously.
So does the government in Pretoria needs to pump 50 billion rand, 100 billion rand, whatever, into Transnet? Would that resolve the problem with Transnet? Because this is election year, so President Ramaphosa really need some key sectors like Eskom, Transnet, power infrastructure to look really good for the ANC when it goes to the general elections at the end of May. So what is really needed, or does Transnet need international help?
So in essence, we need expertise. I think Transnet is in dire need of critical expertise. It's in dire need of getting the benchmark or the best practice, which has been achieved by the likes of the other countries that have gone before. So in terms of updating and upgrading its technology, it also requires the investment that would come from countries that are ahead in terms of going through all of this, the likes of Singapore and the other countries that are looking at the country to become investors. And it also needs private investment, because the government on its own running a business, the business of government is to deliver services, obviously, to the citizenry, but it's not to run businesses or to create employment or to run logistics. So the likes of Transnet need to partner with experts and companies that have balance sheets to be able to fund. Government cannot alone be able to fund all of the capital requirements that are required from a Transnet point of view. However, the private partners would play a significant role, both from a capital raising side of things, as well as the expertise, and then bringing critical skills that would retrain and upskill some of the skills that are sitting there within Transnet to get it into the new world.
So you don't mind if government sells down its holdings, as it were, in Transnet, maybe to DP World of Dubai, for example, or those folks in Amsterdam, Hamburg, whatever. You wouldn't mind if that happens? Do you think that can help in the short to medium term?
Well, the new way, I think, of doing business, as government, is to invite, international investment. So to the extent to which, we've seen the likes of Telkom, which is our telecommunications network, which was for a very long time started and owned by government, which has been sold, to international players as well as investors. It is running efficiently. And there are other as well entities which have investors who are at least bringing the expertise, and that tends to bring higher revenues for government as well as dividends from them. But in the current instance, it would not be viable for government to continue to want to run Transnet in the same way. But to look for partners, whether it's a shareholding, whether it's majority or minority, but whatever would make sense to be able to unlock the bottlenecks that are sitting within the logistics network.
All right, Milani Holeni, Group Chief Advisor at Inter Consulting South Africa. Thank you so much. We'll be touching base with you in the days and weeks ahead. Thank you so much, bringing us up to speed. One of the critical infrastructure, which is logistics for Africa's most advanced economy. Have a pleasant evening.